sitting down here at St Andrews, Knighthead Park at St Andrews, it would be remiss not to discuss the club currently. Within your bio as well, you mentioned commentating and interviewing Trevor Francis, Sir Trevor Francis.
Yes.
As one of your first actual, was it post-match, pre-match?
Pre-match.
Oh, were you getting the nod on the team?
I was getting the nod on the team. So I've been working for Tom for a little while, BRB Capital all that time. And he sent me to Bristol Rovers for a League Cup tie, Bristol Rovers against Blues. And he said, Trevor will give you the team, go to the tunnel, and ask for him, and he'll come and see. Okay, all right, so I'll ask him. This is my first hero, you know. I've got a blue shot on underneath this, which has got the number 8 on the back, the old penguin strip.
Beautiful strip.
And that was Trev's number. So I do as I'm told. I get set up in the stand. I go down to the tunnel of Bristol Rovers. So can I, could you let Trevor Francis know that Capra Gold is here? And he comes out and I interview him. I get the steer on the team. Finish the interview with my cassette recorder. Thank you, Trevor, speech after the game. And I switched the cassette bar, and he just went, "Hey, Alton, very good," and turned around and walked back down the tunnel. He was marking me out of 10 for my interviewing style, because I think he'd probably been tipped off by Tom. There's a cub reporter coming down to the rookie, yeah. Being like, don't throw him under the bus, don't cuss upon him. So that was first thing I was to ring my dad. I just spoke to Trevor bloody Francis, because my dad was a Blue Nose, my granddad. My great uncle Jack used to work here, Jack the Hat, Jack Danter. He did all sorts of menial duties around the stadium until he was in his 70s, from sweeping the terraces to helping with the turnstiles and everything. So the Danters had a real connection to Birmingham City. So to come back here in any role, whether it was to do the stadium announcing that I did here at the end of the 90s, or to come back here as a commentator, as I still do now, for Talk Sport, it's not lost on me how fortunate I am to get to do that, because I love this place. How could I not? I first came here when I was 6, I think. We got beat 2-0 by Stoke on a cold December afternoon. Jimmy Greenoff scored, having not long been with us, gone to Stoke. So my first game here, I was taught, this is what Birmingham City will do to you. Ex-players will come back and haunt you, So it was the perfect indoctrination into life as a...
Joys and sorrows.
Yeah, exactly. Well, mostly sorrows, right? But there's been a few joys.
It seems like so with everything going on down here now. Because again, reading on your bio, your thoughts on Trev and how long it took and how close we were so many times when he was manager. And you'd like to think that obviously before he passed, he took credit in the team that went up. And I know that there was saying around the club that they tried to make, after the Chinese ownership, they tried to kind of build bridges and get him involved, hadn't they? But they hadn't been able to do that before he passed. So you like to think that before he went, he knew what the club, the people around the club, what he meant to them.
I hope that he knew the day we got promoted at Cardiff, what part he played. I hope he knew that day, and I hope that somebody, it could have been Steve Bruce, might have called it. I mean, he came back here 3 years after that, Martin Granger's testimonial. I played, I've got 20 minutes that night. Trevor passed me the ball, But I'm sure I said to him that night, in all seriousness, I hope you understand what me and all right-minded Blue Noses think, that a big part of us getting into the Premier League was down to the groundwork that you did from 96 to 2001, and it shouldn't be forgotten. But Trevor was not one for taking compliments particularly. He was a very shy man.
Yeah.
Quite introverted in a lot of ways. So you didn't go overboard with the praise.
Yeah.
But it's obvious how much this club meant to him, and it shouldn't do in theory, because he's a Devonian. He's a Plymouth boy.
Yeah.
This club just gets under your skin.
Story I heard, just Nicky Elam on the podcast, and he said at times at the training ground, he was practicing free kicks afterwards, because Nicky had a piece of free kick on him, didn't he? They had the dummies there, and he's trying to get it up and over, and he's standing there after. He said, Trevor just turned up and he went, just do it like this, and he's just whipped one straight in the top bins. And he's gone, yeah, just do it like that. And he's gone, Gaffer, if I could do it like that, I wouldn't be a fucking blues.
I'll tell you a funny story about Trev. He was the one that introduced the tambour as the walk-on music. He gave that CD to me to play because his son James had bought it and liked it and suggested the players should run out to that. So Trev gave me the CD single to play out, and I ended up making a loop of it. So that clapping thing at the start kept going for longer. So it allowed players to come out from the tunnel in the corner and, you know, make it all the way. Because in the original version, the vocal cuts in too soon.
Yeah, because
I did it for my wedding. We walked out and
Excellent.
wedding breakfast to it, and I had to edit it a little bit longer. So.
the artist was local, wasn't she? That she was someone's brother or sister
Something like that.
in Marston Green.
Yeah. So that was his first idea, which he still used.
Iconic, yeah.
His next idea was based on something that Bolton Wanderers used to do. You might remember when they scored at the Reebok, as it was known then, they used to play James Brown, I Feel Good, after every goal.
Yeah.
Wow, I'll be okay. The punters used to do all that.
Yeah.
And Trevor came to me and said, I want something similar but different. Can you come to West Hills next week and chat to the first team squad members about what song they would like played for them when they score, like individual goal music? I thought, well, that's interesting. Okay, so the next week I went to West Hills as the players were having lunch, walked in. First player I walked up to was Martin Granger. So I introduced myself as I'm the stadium announcer, where Trevor's got this idea, individual goal music. If you had your own individual goal music, what song would you pick? And without a hesitation, he just looked up at me, deadpan, and went, please release me. In the world, and I thought at that moment, this isn't going to work. They're not going to take this seriously.
Smack my bitch up.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got they're all laughing around the table. You know, they're all.
Did they get an insight as to where you were committed?
No.
Just like,
so that's Martin just thinking straight away. Please release me. Let me go. So I went to Trust that this isn't going to work. They're just not going to buy it. So that fell by the wayside, unfortunately.
I remember celebration music as general.
No, they're sponsored, isn't it? And any goal that's scored here, goal scored by number 11, whoever, sponsored by the Easy Group.
Yeah, who? We
the Who thing, that was something that I inadvertently created. I didn't mean to create it, but I did.
Oh, was that you? Was that your?
Well, the Who thing was about, for those that don't know, so when I was doing the stadium announcing, when substitutions occurred, I wanted the player coming off for Birmingham and the player coming on to know that they were being appreciated either for what they'd done or what hopefully they were going to do. So I would leave a gap. So I would say substitution for Birmingham City, replacing number 9, Dili Anabola, pause, and that would mean round of applause from around the stadium for what he'd done. Coming on number 11, Peter Unlove, and he'd get a round of applause. Now, just because of muscle memory, I started doing the same for the opposition teams as well. And the Blues fans, being the devilish, rogues that they are, only in little pockets at first, started going, who? When I would say, coming off for Barnsley, number 7, David Flitcroft, who? Number 11, person phase, who? And then it grew and grew and grew.
It's the way you put the doubt.
Yes. I did that to a degree. The best ever was when Newcastle came here in the League Cup. Bobby Robson's Newcastle United. They had a man, Shay Given got sent off, I think, goalkeeper. Yeah. Percy scored, and we were 2-0 up. Shearer was playing. There was about an hour gone, and in those days the substitute wasn't on the LED boards; it was on little cards. I remember, and Rob Shannon. Blues fan legend, sat beside me in the commentary box. He suddenly digs me. Hey, they're getting number 9 ready. Shearer's coming off. And oh my God, what a moment is this going to be? So I press the microphone, the operator play stops. It's clear that this, is coming up. Substitution for Newcastle United, and I swear to you, so I'm down there in the commentary box in between those Bill Painter dugout seats. All around the ground, it was shh. There was a complete silence to set up for this moment. And I just waited till replacing number 9, Alan Shearer, 26,000 blue noses, all did that. I can't remember who came on for him, but he got the. But they lived for that little moment, the Blues fans.
Oh yeah.
So that's something I inadvertently created, and the Blues fans ran with like crazy.
So now I don't know I don't know if you know who the announcer is now, but he really piles it on, doesn't he?
Yeah, he went away for a while.
Yeah. Well, Keith Laurent, who when I started getting more and more work with Capital Goals as a football reporter, I had to leave this job behind. So Keith Laurent, my best mate, took over, and he once got in trouble when Bolton were here because he said, replacing number 10, Eiliger Johnson, who? Number 12, Bo Hansen, who? I said, Bo Hansen. So he got in trouble for that. And even when I was doing it, we were told that there were clubs that took issue with
the way
I was saying it. But
yeah, I remember it. There seemed to be a tipping point. It got so far, and then it got really, and it becomes such a comical thing. But then it flattened out a little bit, so you get carpeted and.
I never got told not to do it.
No,
I just knew that there'd been complaints that had come in from other clubs. But as far as the club are concerned, let them complain.
Yeah, because you spoke to Marcus Painter a couple of weeks ago, didn't you? And he played when he marked Ronaldo out of the game and he got subbed there. So you hear about that was. I've seen that on Twitter and that as well, where only Blues fans could say Cristiano Ronaldo who.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, I love that. That's just so cockeyed.
Blues fans are so fast sometimes, aren't they?
Well, football fans in general, I mean, we've got some of the quickest witted supporters, I think. And that might be down to the years of torment, and
that's humour, isn't it?
It promotes that gallows humour and just means that some Blues fans are so quick off the mark. It's you just have to tip the hat sometimes. You go, fair play, lads.
And this is the Wrexham game, and it was you can shut your dead pole up.
Well, they were doing that. Apparently, Keith told me there were people walking back under the Bordesley Bridge, and a bus went past with the Deadpool Wolverine advert on the side, and they were all crowded around this bus. Yeah, you said you fucking Deadpool, you're on. This poor bus driver. Probably going to do it on the 50 or whatever route he's doing. He's suddenly surrounded. No idea why are you singing that at me?
That's no idea.
Trying to explain to his wife like what happened.
Yeah. I started singing to me about Deadpool. He didn't necessarily know what advert was on the side of his bus. But there we go. Yeah.
What's your favourite moment then, Blues? It's not on the questions.
Favourite moment?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be 2011.
Yeah.
The League Cup. It's got to be up there. I mean, there's been nights here that have been pretty special. The semi-final against Ipswich.
That for me personally, that's my standout.
West Ham as well.
West Ham in the semi-final, the comeback. I can also think back further to when this stand had not long been built when Brentford came here. The promotion season from what is now League One, 94-95, we had to beat Brentford. We just won the auto windscreens, and there was a bumper crowded here that night. And Kevin Francis and Liam Daish scored, and you could feel the stadium shake. The Anchorman game here against the Villa.
Yeah.
I was in the Tilton that night, and I've never felt. No wonder there had been structural problems because that stand literally shook that night when Morrison opened the scoring.
Yeah.
So, for all that we do the gallows humour stuff, there's been more than enough glorious moments down here that you can just smile about. I was there for that. How lucky was I to be there for that?
Still the highlights in that Martins, the split second when it drops, you just can hear a pin drop.
Yes, anything could happen. Floodlight failure.
It still gives me a bit of.
Could have been floodlight failure. Thermonuclear war could have started. Would have been typical Blues for something to stopped us winning it, or he just ballooned it over the bar, I suppose. But no, he goes and sticks it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
Still the best joke in history, isn't it? A Frenchman walks into a pole and Birmingham City win the League Cup. Thank you, Wojciech Szczesny and Lauren Koscielny.
It's a little slap he got right in the back of the head for his troubles out.
Oh yeah, was that Barry Ferguson? Yeah. Just what he needed.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.